He chuckles and takes off his glasses. It's like the beauty of 1,000 suns. Oh, I need to do my intro instead of staring at his pecs. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir Duvit, and today I want to play a Jujutsu Kaisen fan game called Teacher's Pet. Teacher Yaga, or should I say Principal Yaga. To what do I owe the honor of this visit? Congratulations on the promotion, by the way. Masamichi Yaga steps into your clan's traditional house, his imposing figure casting long shadows on the tatami mats. He moves with the purposeful stride of someone accustomed to command, his eyes scanning the room with a mix of curiosity and respect.
Thank you. Congratulations on being made head of the clan.
I'm the head of the clan? Who messed up and made that decision? You nod and motion to the seat in front of you. He joins you at the low wooden table, his posture stiff. One of your attendants begins to pour tea, the fragrant steam curling into the air. The others stand by a corner, ready for your orders.
You're a difficult person to find now.
Good. You take a sip of your tea, while Yaga's eyes bore into you. A tense silence stretches. He then takes a deep breath.
I want you to mentor Gojo Satoru.
What? Oh, I'm the teacher? Again, who messed up and made that decision? Your hand stops midair. The room falls silent again as the attendant's eyes widen, darting nervously between you and the principal. You wave a hand dismissively. Leave us. The attendants bow deeply before scurrying out of the room. You turn your gaze back to the principal, your expression hardening. He puts his hands up.
Before you refuse, please hear me out.
I've told you before, I'm not going back.
The curses are getting stronger. The 5th-year teacher responsible for curse technique training was killed last Friday during a mission.
The principal's face remains impassive as he delivers the news. That's what you had always hated about the Jujutsu world. They're all desensitized to death. You incline your head slightly, acknowledging the loss. My condolences, but as the head of this clan, I also have my responsibilities here. Find someone else.
There's no one else. You're the only one that can teach him what he needs. He's too powerful. None of us can help him improve.
You sigh. It would be a lie to say you aren't curious about the strongest sorcerer of this generation. You've heard the stories about him, his incredible feats and unparalleled power. But as impressive as they are, they're not enough to make you leave the life you've built here. And how will that benefit me?
The school will pay you well.
I have enough money. You simply wish to be left in peace, focus on the clan's growth, train your people, and tend to the garden. Your hands are already full with managing the daily affairs and evading the persistent advances of the Zenin clan. As if reading your mind, the principal continues.
The Zenin clan has been bothering you again, hasn't it? You know they won't stop. They want the 10 Shadows technique to stay within their ranks. The Gojo clan said they'd offer their support if you accept.
That piques your interest. The mighty Gojo clan never wants anything to do with less powerful families like yours. Having a good relationship with one of the big 3 would be very beneficial to your people. They must be desperate.
They want Gojo to be the best he can be, the higher-ups as well.
You chuckle as you sip your tea, so that he can be used better as a weapon for them. And you? What's your interest in all of this? He seems taken aback by the question, his large hands cradling the teacup gently.
I just want him to find his way.
And why do you think I'm the right person for that? I left the Jujutsu world, I'm not a traditionalist, and my teaching methods are far from orthodox. I wouldn't be the best influence.
Perhaps, but I'm willing to take the risk.
Oh, okay, I guess. I guess I'll be a teacher to Gojo. Oh my. That's cool. That's neat. I don't know how they did that, but that's cool. Is this RPG Maker? I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Gojo looks around the empty classroom. It's only him and Shoko left. His gaze stops at the place where Suguru used to sit. It has been 3 years now since he... Oh. His chest tightens for a moment, but he pushes the emotion away, burying it deep within, alongside so many others. It's almost second nature now, this numbing of feelings. He leans back on the chair, balancing effortlessly on the 2 back legs, and lets out a groan.
She's taking forever.
Wait, do you know who the new teacher is? Gojo had heard some rumors, especially about how Principal Yaga went far away to recruit her on the higher-up's behalf.
Not really. Probably someone weak. I won't learn anything new anyway.
The new teacher will probably try to control him like all the others. He'll just ignore her and train by himself. Suddenly, the hairs on the back of his neck rise. He straightens, the chair's legs thudding to the ground. His senses sharpen as a massive amount of cursed energy approaches. He exchanges a glance with Shoko, who looks surprised, but not nearly as alarmed as he is. Of course she wouldn't be. First, because she's Shoko. Shoko don't care. And second, only his 6 eyes can sense the true magnitude of the approaching cursed energy. It's almost on his level. The door slides open with a gentle thud, and a woman steps into the room. Gojo's heart skips a beat as the room seems to vibrate with her presence. She's younger than he had pictured their new teacher. Good morning, class. Her voice is calm and assertive, but with a slight sharpness, hinting at suppressed tension. Gojo barely catches her name while she introduces herself, his senses overwhelmed by the powerful aura she carries. I'll be your teacher this year. Nice to meet you. If she possesses such significant cursed energy, perhaps this year won't be so bad. Gojo quickly reins himself in, suppressing the flicker of hope that starts to swell in his chest, and pushes it down. Emotions are dangerous enough. Emotions concerning someone else are even worse. Principal Yaga has briefed me on your curse techniques and energy levels. However, I'd like to see it myself, so I can have a better understanding of how I can help you in your final year. Let's go to the training grounds. Follow me, please. He lets Shoko walk ahead with the new teacher, deliberately trailing behind. At least she hasn't immediately tried to cozy up to him under the guise of familiarity, aiming to manipulate him later, a tactic far too many have attempted over his years at Jujutsu High. Maybe. He shakes his head, emptying his mind before it can even form another thought. Oh, let's be friends, Gojo! Your eyes peruse the training grounds. It hasn't been long since you were here for your own training, yet it feels like a lifetime ago. You can't afford to get too lost in memories now. You need to focus. Being overly formal isn't your strong suit, but it's expected of a teacher at Jujutsu High. Yaga mentioned that the higher-ups agreed to have you here, but you need to maintain at least a semblance of formality to avoid trouble and keep the school's reputation intact. Those old farts. If it wasn't for the deal with the Gojo family, you wouldn't even be here. We must remain strong. We must remain professional. Gojo leans in, invading your personal space. You can clearly see his blue eyes behind his dark glasses from this close. It's like there are small galaxies swirling inside them. Are you a special grade sorcerer? What's your curse technique? What would my curse technique be?
Probably something like infinite harem.
From this proximity, his cursed energy feels almost overpowering. Yet, instead of stepping back, you lean in closer, catching the slight widening of his eyes in surprise as your energies collide and press against each other.
Oh, our energies are touching.
I'll show you in a second. You step back and make a signal with your hands. Domain expansion. Veil of Shadows.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Gojo's and Shoko's eyes widen as shadows expand from your feet, enveloping everything around you in a large black dome. Relax. This is a non-lethal domain. Kagehane. A giant peacock materializes from your shadow, its magnificent form shimmering into existence. Ooh! As it unfurls its iridescent back feathers, the shadows around you shimmer and dissolve, transforming the dome into a vast, expansive training ground. Ooh. The vibrant colors of the peacock's feathers reflect in your student's eyes, signaling that the Shikigami's power is now in full effect.
You have the 10 Shadows technique. Are you a Zenin?
The mention of that surname makes you want to spit on the ground. No, my mom left the clan before having me. Before he can ask any more personal questions, you motion to the peacock by your side. This is Kagehane. It imposes an illusion on my domain. Whatever happens here will not happen in real life, but you will feel everything as if it were real. So you can use as much of your power as you'd like. The outside world won't be affected. Even if you destroy my Shikigami, kill me, or get killed in this state, we won't die. But you'll improve mentally and develop muscle memory as a result. Gojo's eyes sparkle with excitement.
It's the perfect training ground.
You nod with a smile. Exactly. Now, I'm going to separate you into 2 groups. Ieri, Principal Yaga told me your specialty is healing with reverse curse technique, so I'll test how much you can do and how fast. Please follow my clone. I can assure you she's just as competent as me. Shoko blinks as another you appears by her side from her shadow, smiling.
Actually, that would be fun to have kind of a shadow clone jutsu. One espoir for each of my fictional husbands.
She follows your clone to another part of the domain.
What about me?
Gojo's voice carries an edge of impatience, as though irritated he isn't the center of attention. You can't quite tell if he's joking. Regardless, it's somewhat hard to reconcile that this 20-year-old who could easily pass for a fashion model is reputed to be the strongest sorcerer of his generation. As for you, Gojo, I want you to show me everything you've got.
You do know I'm the strongest, right? Can your domain handle it?
Ah, there it is. The arrogance you've heard so much about. Why don't you try me? You focus, and your other Shikigamis rise from the ground, taking form with a fluid grace. With the illusion already in effect, there's no need for hand signs. Some of these Shikigami are unique amalgamations, the result of mergers with others you lost during the perilous missions at Jujutsu High, and in your brief career as a sorcerer. Gojo's eyes fix on the large white dog by your side, the result of one of those merges.
Where's the other dog? You guys start with 2, right?
Your eyebrows raise in surprise. He knows his stuff. The black one was killed, accidentally, by the Zenin clan when they tried to kidnap me as a child. They didn't try again.
Oh.
Enough talking. Let's start. You send all of your Shikigami at him at once. Seamlessly, you create a clone of yourself while you slip into the shadows with Kagehane. You emerge from the top of a cliff and analyze Gojo's movements as he fights. The Shikigami can't hit him due to his infinity, and Gojo dismantles them one by one. As you imagined, he already has formidable strength. But he's still holding back. He's not feeling threatened enough to go all out. You'll have to shake things up. In a real fight, you'd need a cursed tool or a shikigami that could disrupt his infinity. But you're in your domain. And here, whatever you say is law. You appear right behind Gojo and whisper, "You're still holding back." When he turns around, you slip into the shadows and reappear in front of him. Your clone dissolves to the ground while the shikigami, all back again, circle you both, waiting for your command. Gojo shrugs, a smug smile on his lips. "What can I say? I'm a gentleman at heart. I can't bear to hurt you, even in an illusion." You hum thoughtfully, contemplating his smug demeanor. This is a game to him. He probably believes there's nothing you can teach him. "I've lost count of how many times I've died in this domain while training. It's not a pleasant experience." Gojo narrows his eyes at the low tone of your voice, his gaze sharpening as he watches you intently. "So, I suggest you use your full power if you don't want to experience it firsthand." His laugh rings out, full of conceited arrogance. "You and your shikigami can't even touch me, teacher." "Can I try?" "Sure." He raises his hand. You try not to smile as you walk forward. You can feel your proper and professional teacher facade slipping. You and Kagehane are connected by your mind, so you only have to think a request for it to reshape the illusion in any way you want. You reach out and intertwine your fingers with his. His eyes widen as your skins brush against each other. "What?" "You don't have infinity anymore." He tries to pull his hand back, but you hold tightly, sinking your nails into his skin, and smile wide. "What now, Gojo?" The white dog appears behind him and tears a deep gash through his torso, likely hitting some vital organs. He chokes and jumps back, clutching his side. He glares at you, his expression shifting through surprise, confusion, anger, and even a bit of awe. You watch as his blood drips to the ground. "Now, heal yourself with reverse curse technique." Gojo grits his teeth. "You cheated." "Maybe, but you'll learn from it and be able to use this ability better when you really need it." He groans in pain, still not obeying. You sigh. Seems like he doesn't like following orders. If he refuses to improve due to his ego, this whole mentorship will be a disaster. "Look, I know you probably think no one can teach you anything because you're the strongest. Now, do you want to be right or do you want to improve? It doesn't matter to me anyway. The choice is yours." He stares at you for a long moment before his lips twitch in a pained smile. His eyebrows furrow as he focuses. Bit by bit, his body regenerates. It's slow, but it's progress. You smile widely when he finally completes it. You feel the same sense of pride you get when the people from your clan master a new ability you taught them. Gojo's breathing hard, his face flushed, as if he's about to puke. "Not in my domain! You take that outside! There's no puking in my domain!" "Good job." Your shikigami begin to close the circle around him. "Now, let's start again. You can have your infinity back, but I'll turn it off randomly or disrupt it, so you better pay attention." He chuckles and takes off his glasses. Oh. It's like the beauty of 1,000 suns. His eyes shine, and for a brief second it feels like time stops. "Bring it on, teacher." The fight begins anew. Gojo now has to use his abilities to the fullest, and you're in awe of how much power he actually wields. Your movements are a blur as you dodge, parry, and strike. Shadows twist and writhe around you, your shikigami moving with deadly precision. Gojo retaliates with his cursed technique, turning the training ground into a chaotic dance of light and shadow, each of you pushing the other to new heights. Is that all you've got?
Fine. You've asked for it.
He speaks an incantation, and suddenly, a blinding purple light floods the area. Your body tingles with the surge of energy, and you barely dodge the attack. The ground where you stood moments before is scorched and cracked. Your skin is red, burnt. You laugh, exhilarated as you heal yourself. That's more like it! The battle rages on, leaving you both breathless. Despite the exhaustion, you find yourself grinning. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice Gojo's grin as well. The challenge is clearly bringing him as much joy as it is you. If the higher-ups saw this interaction, they'd probably chastise you for not behaving like a proper teacher, but you couldn't care less. They knew exactly what they were getting when they brought you on board. I didn't want to be here. It's been ages since you've had a fight this exhilarating. This job might actually be fun. The peacock Shikigami makes a sound, causing the teacher to stop in her tracks. Gojo nearly crashes into her with full force. Class is over. She almost sounds disappointed. He recognizes a similar twinge of disappointment stirring within himself. The domain dissipates, melting back into the shadows from which it came. The late afternoon sun spills over him, making him squint against the sudden brightness. Hours had slipped by unnoticed. Shoko remains in the same spot where the teacher first cast the domain. She looks around, her hands stretched as if she was healing someone. That's trippy. Gojo puts his glasses back on, his gaze distant. He feels strange. An unusual warmth courses through his entire body. What is this sensation? It's almost reminiscent of the euphoric high he experienced when he fought Toji Zenin and truly understood how cursed energy works. But there's something else. How can you do this for so long? Like I said, this is a non-lethal domain. It costs little cursed energy. Thank you for your hard work today. I look forward to working with you on this year. Let's do our best. She does a slight bow, her demeanor returning to a more formal tone. Gojo bows back automatically, but his mind is a whirlwind of emotions. His thoughts race from memories of Suguru, to Riko, to all the others they lost. The haunting sense of isolation bears down on him. What did she do to him? All the emotions he usually keeps buried are bubbling to the surface, clawing to break free. And one of them is starting to become more prominent now, the more he looks at her. It makes his body heat up to the point of boiling. Do you have any questions? Shoko shakes her head. Gojo remains impassive, his eyes glued to the teacher. Like a broken cassette, his mind keeps replaying the exact moment when her hand brushed against his. When was the last time someone touched him like that? And why does it seem so important now? Gojo, you okay? He flinches at her words, snapping back to reality. Yeah, cool. Totally cool. All right. I'll see you tomorrow then. Gojo stares as she walks away. Thankfully, he's wearing dark glasses, so no one can see where his eyes are lingering. He licks his dry lips. Staying in her domain for so long messed him up. That has to be it. You might want to go somewhere and take care of that. He looks at her. She points to his pants while grabbing a cigarette. It's pretty obvious. I don't know how the teacher didn't see it. Gojo quickly puts a hand over his crotch, feeling a rush of embarrassment and annoyance. Why were you looking there, you pervert? You were acting weird, so I searched your body for anything amiss and saw it. She takes a drag from her cigarette and smiles as she exhales, the smoke curling in the air. You're lucky the teacher didn't see it. That thing's been waving hello for a while. It's like, hello, kiss me.
It's just a physical reaction. I'm not into her.
She chuckles, clearly amused. If you say so. He rolls his eyes. It is just a physical reaction, likely from all the energy he expanded. Sure, It won't happen again. It's not like this experience will completely change his mental and emotional state or anything. He glances at the new teacher again. Not at all. You're still staring.
I'm not!
You storm towards the training grounds, your mood darkening with each step. You've just been chastised by the higher-ups for being overly familiar with Gojo and Ieri. It seems someone must have reported your casual demeanor. Darn snitches. They're gonna get stitches in their britches. Barely a week into your teaching role and trouble has already found you. Fantastic. Hey, I said my methods were unorthodox. I said I'm not a traditionalist. You came into my dojo and interrupted my tea to bring me here. Fellas, this is exactly why I left. These old fluffers with their archaic rules.
You hate them too.
His voice halts you in your tracks. You turn to find Gojo casually leaning against a wall, a presence you hadn't noticed before. And how did he manage to hear what you muttered under your breath?
It's all right. I won't tell.
His face is slightly flushed, perhaps a lingering effect of today's rigorous training. He would go someplace and have his own kind of rigorous training. Ever since that first class, Gojo has kept his distance, disappearing immediately after sessions to who knows where. While you would like to discuss his daily performance as you do with Ieri, you respect his need for space. Your primary goal is to enhance his skills, and despite his aloofness, he's been improving.
I have an idea for training.
He pauses, eyeing you as if to read your willingness to listen. You offer him an encouraging smile. I'm all ears. A visible change washes over him. His demeanor lightens, and a playful grin spreads across his face. Oh no.
What are you cooking, Gojo? And you're not from around here, right? I found a new candy shop recently. They have a lot of different candies. Traditional ones, too.
His ongoing ramble, like a dam unleashed, brings a shift in the atmosphere. There's a subtle change in your mentor-student relationship, ironically, something that might just make you appreciate the higher-ups. Just a little. We gonna go get candy together? I want to go to the candy store with Gojo. Get some Japanese candy. So, when you want to teleport long distances, it's the same principle of movement. You should feel your cursed energy at the top of your stomach, pulling you forward. Gojo stares at you for a long moment.
Huh?
You stifle a sigh, having explained this 3 times already. Listen, you! I'm here to flirt, but I'm also here to teach. Gojo's been unusually absent-minded lately, and you can't help but wonder if the number of missions he's undertaking is taking a toll on him. He pokes at his stomach, his expression puzzled.
Where? I don't get it.
You walk up to him, and he instinctively straightens, pushing his shoulders back and standing taller. Can I?
Yes.
You touch his stomach gently, feeling the warmth of his skin beneath your fingers. Right here. He stares at you, his gaze intense and unwavering. You tilt your head, meeting his eyes. Do you understand now? Gojo's voice is breathy when he answers.
Yeah.
Good. Try again. You leave him and make your way over to check on Shoko. A few more weeks have passed since you started teaching the two. The Gojo clan has upheld their promise, providing support to your clan while you're away and ensuring the Zenin clan doesn't attempt any tricks.
You should already be devising business strategies to present to them, but to your surprise, your role as a teacher has consumed most of your time. Initially, you thought coming back to the jujutsu world would be a pain in the butt, but Gojo and Ieri have proven to be exceptional students. You find yourself enjoying the challenge of devising varied training sessions for them, and the thrill of watching them improve day by day. "How are you doing, Ieri?" you ask, watching as she wipes a hand over her sweaty forehead. A wounded person lies in front of her. Even though you know they're not real, you try not to look at them too much, the illusion too unsettling.
So am I just dropping half-dead bodies in front of her?
"I'm fine, teacher. You don't need to worry about me. Your puppy needs your attention." You grimace at her teasing tone. She isn't the only one who's observed the recent bond forming between you and Gojo. In the teacher's office, some staff have approached you to ask how you managed to make Gojo such a teacher's pet.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
Ha, that's the name of the game. Ha, teacher said that's what the game's called. Ha. Ha.
But you haven't done anything special. You treat him the same as you do the students in your clan. All you know is that something changed after you were scolded by the higher-ups. Perhaps Gojo sensed a kinship with you, recognizing a shared disdain for the higher-ups' scrutiny. Since then, he's started to really reach out. He still vanishes after class, but now he returns to bombard you with questions, propose new training ideas, or just chat.
Oh.
Sometimes it seems he doesn't even realize what he's doing. He just shows up and starts talking, unable to stop himself.
Aww.
As his mentor, you listen, and occasionally you join in, both of you venting about the jujutsu world's absurd, outdated traditions.
He's not my puppy.
A kitten, then.
"Teacher, I did it!" Oh, good job, Gojo! Gold stars for Gojo!
Gojo's voice cuts through your thoughts as he runs towards you, his face alight with excitement. If he had a tail, he'd definitely be wagging right now. Shoko gives you a knowing look, one eyebrow raised in amusement.
"Shut up! Shut up, Shoko!"
She wins this time.
"Can I show you?"
"Go ahead." Before you can react, Gojo wraps an arm around your waist. You stiffen in surprise, not expecting this level of physical contact. He teleports, and you cling to him as a reflex, your arms instinctively wrapping around his torso. The sensation of teleportation is strange, disorienting. You blink and look around, finding yourself on the other side of the domain. He actually did it.
Yay! I'd muss your hair, but I'd probably need a stepladder.
He actually did it. Then he does it again, and again. Each time you find yourself clinging tighter as your vision swirls. He finally stops at the top of the cliff.
Don't puke in your own domain, me. That's your ground rule.
"See? I nailed it. Tell me I'm not the greatest student you've ever had." He turns to you, a triumphant smile lightening up his flushed face from the exertion. You blink slowly, adjusting to the sudden stillness.
"I think..."
Your voice trails off as you realize how close his face is to yours. For a fleeting moment, time seems to stand still. You become intensely aware of the firmness of his muscles beneath his uniform, the warmth from his body seeping through the fabric, enveloping you in its embrace. Even during all of your training together, you had never had this much skin contact with him. His expression changes as he seems to realize this as well. A faint blush appears on his cheeks. You clear your throat and step away from him.
"Congrats, Gojo. You're progressing super fast. I'm proud."
"Of course. Who do you take me for?" You roll your eyes, a smile tugging at your lips.
Even his arrogance has a certain charm that's starting to grow on you. He scratches the back of his neck, a rare shy grin spreading across his face.
But thanks. It's all because of you, teacher. It'd take me much longer to master this by myself.
Your face heats up, and you can sense a tangible shift in the atmosphere. I hope Shoko can't see us from here. She's probably looking up at us, pointing a finger. This time, there's a new tension, an almost palpable electricity that thrums through the air. It's as if you're seeing Gojo on high definition for the first time, suddenly hyper-aware of his presence in a way you hadn't been before. You don't know what to do with this new perception you have of him, so you blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. I bet I can get back to Ieri first. Gojo's grin returns, mischievous and challenging.
You're on. I hope you're ready to lose.
Calling upon Kagahane, you create a series of obstacles in front of him. With a playful salute, you slip into a shadow. Just, good luck, bozo. See you.
Hey, no fair. Where's the referee when you need one?
Inside the comforting darkness, you place a hand over your heart, feeling it pound rapidly against your chest. Fluff.
Oh no! I'm falling in love!
Summer arrives. The air is thick with humidity, and the cicadas sing their relentless chorus from the trees. The oppressive heat creates a shimmering haze that distorts the distant horizon. Ieri has different classes today to prepare for med school, leaving only you and Gojo for today's training. Oh! You stop by a vending machine, seeking refuge from the relentless heat. Gojo waits nearby, tugging at his uniform, sweat glistening on his skin and making his white hair stick to the nape of his neck. For once, he didn't vanish right after class. You pry your gaze away, focusing on the selection of drinks. Ever since the day he mastered teleportation, you found yourself increasingly aware of him. You always knew he was handsome, but now everything he does seems to heighten his attractiveness, drawing your eyes to him almost magnetically. It's always worse after training, as if the energy you expand awakened a primal hunger within you, a burning desire that thrums through your veins, making you acutely aware of every movement, every glance. It's a craving that wants him, almost needs him, with an intensity that's almost impossible to hide. You select a can of melon soda and hand it to him.
Just one? How stingy. I worked hard today.
You flick his forehead playfully, your finger connecting with his skin. Most of the time, when you're not training, he allows you to pass through his infinity. Be grateful, you brat.
Thank you, my favorite amazing gorgeous teacher.
He bats his eyelashes at you, making you grin wide. That's better. You're about to open your can when Gojo stops you.
Let me.
Wait. He opens the can using his powers, and the liquid bursts forth. Instinctively, you shut your eyes, bracing for the splash. But nothing happens. You cautiously open your eyes to find the liquid dripping down an invisible barrier encircling not just him, but both of you. Gee, thanks. The liquid then reverses, flowing neatly back into the can. Gojo hands the can back to you with a triumphant grin.
Don't worry, teacher. Nothing will get to you while I'm around.
You let out a relieved breath and shake your head, a smile still lingering on your lips. It always does when you're near him. Show off. Thanks, Gojo. He leans in closer to whisper, sending a flutter through your stomach.
You should call me Satoru, teacher. We're already close enough, don't you think?
Stop. You let out a soft chuckle, the tension mingling with amusement. The higher-ups would have my head if they heard that. You know their rules. Technically, I shouldn't even be sharing this moment with you.
They don't need to know.
And risk my job? Do you really want that on your conscience?
He leans back and huffs dramatically, but doesn't press the matter. Honestly, calling him by his first name might make things a bit too cozy and cross some lines. That could definitely get you fired, and you're not even sure how Gojo would take it. He probably just sees you as his teacher, nothing more. And given his attractiveness and the way people seem to be drawn to him, it's difficult to picture him as single. You stand near each other, leaning against the wall, watching the training grounds as another class arrives, ready to start their own session. Barely a minute passes before Gojo starts talking again.
Teacher, I've been thinking.
You smile as you sip from your drink. Here we go. He's always so talkative after training. You can't help but wonder if the exertion affects him the same way it affects you, but instead of the searing need that courses through your veins, it prompts him to open up and share his thoughts.
The two of us could completely change the jujutsu world.
How?
Well, I don't know yet, but I know we can do it.
You laugh softly at his naivety, the sound carrying a mix of amusement and sadness. It'd take much more than the two of us, Gojo. This world is deeply corrupted. That's why I left. There's no future here other than death. The thought hangs on the tip of your tongue, but you hold it back. Voicing it would make you seem like a hypocrite. You think that way, yet here you are, training him and Ieri to be potentially used as weapons. You push the unsettling thought away, deciding you can have a moral crisis another time. For now, there's work to be done, and Gojo's enthusiasm, however naive, is a beacon of hope you're reluctant to dim.
Then, why did you decide to come back?
Money.
And also the support of the clan to, keep the other guys off my back. Right? For you.
Oh.
His eyes widen behind his sunglasses, surprise and something else flickering in their depths. You realize how that must have sounded.
Yeah! Fluff!
You quickly continue, trying to cover the slip. Principal Yaga asked me to come. I thought you'd be a pain in the butt. I mean, you are most of the time.
Hey!
But you're fun. I'm learning with you as well. I'll be a better teacher when I get back home. He falls silent, and the chorus of cicadas fill the space between you. His expression turns thoughtful, almost vulnerable.
If I find a way to change the jujutsu world, will you stay? Will you join me?
That's impossible.
But will you?
His voice is earnest, eyes shining with hope and determination. You don't want to be the one to crush his spirit, to wipe away that look of pure belief. Sure.
Even if it goes against the higher-ups?
You sigh, the weight of his expectations pressing down on you. It'll be hard to deal with his disappointment when you eventually go back to your clan, hidden from everything and everyone. Yes. He beams at you, his face lighting up with joy. Your heart skips a beat. His smile, it's like the brightness of 1,000 suns.
Gojo? Can I have a moment?
You both turn and see a girl, probably a first-year student, standing nervously nearby. She's blushing furiously, her cheeks a deep crimson, while she clutches a letter to her chest. Her friends are lingering a short distance away, watching with eager anticipation.
The truth is, I've liked you for a long time.
Gojo, be nice! Be nice! Be nice, Gojo! She steps forward, extending the letter towards Gojo. He takes it, his face impassive as he examines it.
Please go out with me.
Gojo smiles, a polite but distant expression.
I really appreciate this, but I have a lot going on right now, and I can't give anyone the kind of attention they deserve.
The girl's eyes fill with tears, and she nods, her voice trembling.
I understand. Thank you for listening.
She turns and walks back to her friends, her head hung low. Her friends gather around her, offering comforting pats on the back and murmuring words of encouragement, praising her bravery for trying.
Poor thing.
Gojo shrugs and slips the letter into his pocket, as if this kind of confession is just another part of his daily routine. So, like we were saying, you're going to rebel against the higher-ups with me, right?
You groan inwardly. It sounds really bad when he phrases it like that. But his enthusiasm and idealism are hard to resist. Dreaming of a better world doesn't hurt, especially when it lights up his eyes like that. Fine, but if you tell the principal about this, I'm going to trap you in my domain forever. He grins, leaning closer, his voice dropping to a playful whisper.
You can trap me any time, teacher.
I just might. You'd love that, wouldn't you? His eyes widen in surprise. Oh no, he took that the wrong way, which actually was the way that I was serving it, but probably not. Oh, mailed. You didn't mean to say it like that, with such a low, suggestive tone. It was supposed to sound like a joke.
I have to go.
Gojo, wait. Let me explain. I'm flirting with you, but I'm not really flirting with you because I'm not supposed to be flirting with you. But he's already gone, disappearing before you can say anything more. Frustration bubbles up inside you, and you throw the can into the trash with force, cursing under your breath. Now you've done it. You overstepped your boundaries and made your student uncomfortable. What's wrong with you? You never blurt out innuendos like that. Has isolating yourself and your clan for so long clouded your judgment? Being attracted to him is one thing, but saying things like that is a whole different story. You sigh, passing a hand over your face. Maybe leaving the clan to teach was a mistake. You need to apologize, right now. You search for Gojo all over the school, but he's nowhere to be found. Where has he been disappearing off to? In a final attempt, you head to his room, each step echoing your pounding heart. Just as your hand is poised to knock on his door, you hear him whisper your name from inside. Oh no. Oh. 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 Wait, is this why you've been disappearing after my classes, Gojo? He quickly grabs some pants and pulls them on. He needs a shower. He opens the door and finds the teacher there, her hand mid-knock.
Teacher? You didn't hear anything, right? All of that stays on the adult Patreon, right? Right?
Did she hear him? Gosh darn it, Satoru. Of course she did. Just look at her face.
I'm completely flushed.
Footsteps echo down the hall. Panic surges through him, and he grabs her, pulling her inside and quickly shutting the door. She seems disoriented, her eyes still wide with surprise. God, classes are going to be so awkward now.
Teacher.
Her eyes lock onto his, and he flinches under her penetrating gaze. Is this why you always run away after class? Gojo scratches the back of his neck, feeling a flush of heat rise to his cheeks. He didn't think she had noticed. He always went back to her quickly after he was done.
Well, you see...
She steps forward until he's backed against the wall.
Uh-oh. It's my POV now, Gojo. You're in trouble.
You lean over him, pinning him against the wall. Your energies clash, an electric tension sparking between you. You know you shouldn't be in his room like this. It's a risk, one misstep away from costing you your job. Did my words really get you all worked up? Gojo shifts his gaze away,
a hint of embarrassment coloring his cheeks. I had no idea words could make you so sensitive, Gojo. A mischievous grin spreads across your face, reveling in the moment. It's too tempting not to push him further. His flustered expression is just too adorable. What are you, a virgin? You hold back a smirk, anticipating his embarrassment and the inevitable stumbling of his words. Aww. Yeah? You blink. The word bounces in your head until it makes sense. What? Gojo meets your gaze, utterly serious. I never lost my virginity because I never lose. I have no words. I'm speechless. I got nothing. You both hold each other's gaze. His deadpan delivery is almost too much, and then he's completely serious. And you're on the verge of laughter, but his earnest expression holds you back. He's completely serious. No way! You give him a skeptical once-over. He's absolutely gorgeous, muscular, rich. Is he rich? The most powerful sorcerer, and a beautiful girl just confessed to him. There's no way. Gojo's got better things to do. But also he lost his best friend. He huffs as if wounded by your disbelief. Did you really take me for a playboy too? That hurts, teacher. It simply wasn't a priority in my life. Your intention to tease him pauses as one word reverberates in your mind. Wasn't? Color rises in Gojo's cheeks. You inch closer, the air between you crackling with unspoken tension. Is it a priority now? Gojo lets out an awkward laugh and steps closer, an almost challenging gleam in his gaze, as if trying to intimidate you into stepping back. But you hold your ground, meeting his advance with a steady stare. Where are you going with this, my dear teacher? He's right. Where is this leading? Uh-oh. Gojo POV, he watches as I'm hoisted out of the school. Gojo strides into the training grounds, his heart still racing from the recent events. The world seems different now, almost like he's seeing everything with new eye. The thought of testing this newfound perception with someone else crosses his mind, but he finds himself completely uninterested in the idea. His expressions dip slightly when he realizes that only Shoko is there, leaning against a wall and smoking. He quickly masks his disappointment. So, how is your day alone with the teacher? Gojo flinches slightly at her words, his voice cracking a bit as he tries to keep his tone casual. Great. It went great. Memories of their time together flood his thoughts. It all felt unreal, like a dream. He's thankful for his 6 eyes. Each allowed him to capture every little reaction and expression she made. Did you learn anything new? Do you know, Shoko? Do you already know? Heat flushes across Gojo's face as he nods, a grin creeping onto his lips. Oh, yes. Plenty. Shoko's gaze sharpens, her eyes piercing through him, as if trying to read his every thought. Gojo shifts uncomfortably, a flush of nervousness mingling with his arousal. Could she have any clue as to what happened? No, that's impossible. Could she? I forgot to mention this before, but did you ditch your plan from the first week? Ah, that plan. Oh yeah, to ignore the teacher and to just train on his own. Gojo had sworn he'd ignore the new teacher until the end of the year, but just a few hours ago they were closer than ever. What a shift. She's not so bad. Shoko lets out a hum. And she's powerful. Yeah. Nice, too. Yeah.
And you like her?
Yeah, no! What? Why would you think that?
Just then, a familiar energy permeates the air, causing Gojo's face to brighten instantly. Aww, his little puppy tail is wagging. A smile breaking across his features.
She's here.
Shoko shakes her head as the teacher emerges from a shadow, slightly flustered. I'm not late, am I? Traffic was really bad. She lets out a nervous chuckle, but Gojo's mind is already spiraling into vivid memories of their last encounter. He needs her, desperately, in a way that's all-consuming. It has only been a few hours since they were together, but his desire has only intensified. Let's start. The next lesson we're going to learn is restraint. Gojo! As the teacher weaves her domain into existence, Shoko leans in, her voice low and teasing. You might want to adjust your collar to hide those marks. Gojo's eyes widen as he swiftly reaches up to conceal the evidence, a flush spreading across his cheeks. Hey, she doesn't know that it was the teacher who did it. He just knows that Gojo had a fun time. She might not have the 6 eyes, but she's dangerous. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. You attempt to focus during class, but the intensity of Gojo's gaze is unsettling. It's like his eyes are tracing every contour of your body, burning with a silent, unspoken promise. You keep Iari close today during training, hoping that Gojo will rein himself back with her around. Like, let me just stand right next to you and watch you intently, Shoko. Let's heal these. Let's heal some extra corpses and keep Gojo away. When the class wraps up, you approach Iari to chat about her performance during the day's session. However, she quickly excuses herself, mentioning an appointment, and hurries away. As you watch her depart, puzzled by her haste, you sense Gojo moving closer to you. His touch is subtle at first, his fingers brushing lightly against yours, then more deliberately intertwining with your own. You glance around in a slight panic, but the area is deserted.
Let's go to my room.
Gojo, you're going to kill me. My clan needs me, Gojo. You're going to kill me. The low tone of his voice makes your throat go dry. You had vowed that the last time would remain just that, the last. Yet, the rational whispers of caution in your mind are drowned out by the lingering adrenaline from training, amplifying your desire. We shouldn't.
I know.
His lips graze your neck, light as a feather, yet enough to unravel you.
That's why I wanted even more.
Muttering a curse, you yank him into the shadows and press your lips fiercely against his, feeling him smile in the kiss. Just one more time, you promise yourself. Just one last time. My people need me, Gojo! Although it's only been a few weeks since they began their secret affair, it feels like much longer. He's memorized every curve and contour of her body. He gently traces a hickey on her neck, and she murmurs sleepily. Maybe he was a bit too rough this time, but he has plenty of those marks too. They've been pushing their boundaries, exploring new things. He can't get enough. Gojo thought that after finally being with her, he'd return to normal. Instead, he finds himself wanting her more, constantly. Just the thought of her stirs a deep hunger in him that he can't control. This could be a problem. She indulges him, letting him have her again and again, seemingly just as unable to resist as he is. He sketches imaginary lines across her bare skin, undisturbed by the emotions swirling unchecked within him. He's become accustomed to this now, but only allows himself to truly feel when he's near her. Thoughts of Suguru often surface during these moments. He recalls his friend's joking prediction that he would die a virgin. What now, Geto? If only Suguru could see him now. Who's Suguru? Gojo stiffens,
realizing he had spoken aloud without intending to. He was... He hesitates, then simplifies his response. My best friend.
Did something happen to him?
Memories fled in, overwhelming him. Sometimes it's all too much. He buries his face in the crook of her neck and closes his eyes, seeking solace. It's a long story. She wraps her arms around him, her embrace easing the weight on his chest.
I'm here if you want to talk about it.
He ponders, wrestling with the decision. He's never shared his thoughts on this part of his life with anyone else. He was a student here as well. Before he realized it, words are flowing freely, his thoughts tumbling out into an unstoppable torrent. But if it's her listening, he doesn't mind. Somehow, he knows she'll understand and accept him, as she always has. At times, he worries about what it all means. It doesn't feel like it's just about passion or physical craving. He could probe deeper into these emotions, but he's wary of what he might find. There's one feeling in particular that's especially perilous.
Is it love?
Yet, when she looks at him, her eyes alight with the same fervor and warmth. His concerns melt away. The realization that she'll soon return to her clan and vanish into seclusion sends an uncomfortable pang through his chest, like he can't stand the thought of her leaving. Rather than ponder over this absurd fear, he redirects his energy, resolved to devise a plan to make her stay. No, Gojo, listen. Even if you chop off my legs, I'm still gonna leave.
Gojo wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to me, Gojo. You wouldn't turn into a yandere, would you?
He tells himself it's just because she'd be a good ally, nothing more. Yeah, that's it. He knows they can make a real difference together. He has to find a way.
Well,
hey, I haven't been flung from the school yet. Gojo has been completely distracted lately. It's affecting his performance. Do you have any idea what's going on? You shift the phone from one ear to the other as you gaze out of the classroom window, observing students and staff bustling about.
Not really. I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary.
I mean, he does know how to teleport now, so who knows? I don't know. I have nothing to do with it. Suppressing a yawn, fatigue weighs heavily on you. It's been ages since you last had a full night's sleep. Gojo's relentless needs are exhausting, yet you find yourself not wanting it any other way. It's partially your own doing. I take half responsibility. You've been finding yourself reluctant to part from him. You remember how leaving your clan once left you with a deep longing, but with Gojo, that feeling is milder, as if he has become a safe haven amidst the horrors of the Jujutsu world. But you remind yourself not to get too attached. People from your clan are starting to ask when you'll be around more. You know you can't let them down. The classroom's sliding door glides open, drawing your attention. Gojo steps in, his eyes lighting up when he sees you. How did he know to find you here? He shuts the door softly behind him and strides over. He pecks you on the cheek while you mouth to him that you're on the phone with the principal. His grin broadens, that mischievous spark in his eyes. Don't you dare. Don't you dare fondle me when I'm on the phone with my boss. Gojo, I will give you such a spanking. Meld, you know that look. Yes, the Gojo clan and the higher-ups are pleased with his progress. However, there's been a noticeable slip in his meticulousness on missions lately. Gojo whispers in your ear. Tell him I'm just fine. I want you to accompany him on a mission to keep an eye on him.
I think that's a bad idea.
You stifle a yawn as you approach the old middle school building, your loyal white divine dog trotting alongside. The shimmering veil barrier encircling the school stirs old memories of past missions. It's been ages since you were last on one. Just before you and Gojo departed, Yaga had tasked you with uncovering the cause of Gojo's recent distractions. A twinge of guilt brushes your conscience. Poor Yaga, oblivious to the fact that you're the reason behind it all.
Hey, I was gonna be in my temple drinking my tea. They drove me here.
He also mentioned that some first-year students were on a nearby mission and might need assistance. With you and Gojo teaming up, handling this and the first years will be a walk in the park.
Will it?
Gojo pets your divine dog, who happily licks his hand.
Oh.
Let's finish this quick. There's a store I want to take you to. You already know the type of store he's hinting at.
Candy store? For candy? With candy in it?
Resolutely, you put more space between you, trying to dampen the distracting surge of desire. Let's split up. We'll cover more ground that way. Don't miss me too much, teacher. I won't. He sticks his tongue out at you, a playful smirk on his face, before heading in the opposite direction. The school year is drawing to a close, and soon the formal ties of mentor and student between you and Gojo will dissolve. The mere thought stirs discomfort deep within you, a gnawing unease that you can't shake. Yet neither of you have broached the subject of what might lie ahead. Perhaps that's for the best, an unspoken, swift, and silent parting. Less complicated, less painful.
Hey, at least you'll know that I'm alive.
But the idea of such an abrupt end leaves an ache that lingers, a sense of loss that you're not ready to confront. Suddenly, you sense a presence, not a curse, but a human. Your divine dog growls low in its throat. So, you've thrown in with the Gojo clan. Now Yazenin glances in the direction Gojo disappeared. Quite closely, it seems.
You saw nothing!
Baffled, you wondered how the Zenin clan found you here. What the heck do you want? Easy now. Who is this person?
Who is this person?
Oh no, he's hot!
Oh no, he's kinda cute too. Easy now. Relax. I'm here on behalf of our clan. He puts his hands up, and you scoff. Derisively. Our? My answer is still no. It will always be no. Naoya steps forward, but your dog positions itself between you two, its stance menacing. I'd keep my distance if I were you. He hasn't forgotten what your clan did to his brother. Naoya's eyes narrow, calculating, yet he maintains his distance. Your phone buzzes with a new text.
Brat, is that Gojo?
Don't talk with other men when I'm right here. But seriously, do you want me to come over and get rid of him? Of course he can see what's happening with his 6 eyes even from afar. You send him a quick response, thanking him and reassuring him that you've got it under control.
Do I?
Your fingers move swiftly across the screen, a small smile tugging at your lips. So you choose Gojo Satoru over us, just because he's stronger? What about your family? Naoya's voice is irritated, probably because you are ignoring him.
Nah.
What about your family? Your anger flares up, sharp and quick. I have a family, and you're not part of it. We might be few, but we don't treat others like vermin. He shrugs, his expression indifferent. That's just how the Jujutsu world works. Then I want no part of it. You can't hide forever. Just watch me. I am the champion of hide and seek. You step into a shadow and defiantly flip him off as you vanish.
Fluffin' a-hole.
You rub your tired eyes, weariness weighing you down. It's high time you had a serious talk with Gojo. You desperately need a full night's sleep. Suddenly, time seems to slow. You sense a presence too late. Your reflexes dulled by fatigue. You manage to dodge, but not quickly enough to avoid a strike on your cheek.
Who dares?
You cry out,
your hand flying to your face, feeling the warm trickle of blood. Internally, you chastise yourself. You should have been more alert.
Teacher!
Gojo's voice pierces through the haze as he materializes by your side, his eyes widening in shock at the sight of your blood. He attempts to heal you, but his efforts falter. He's not skilled in healing others yet. It's all right. I can do it. As you speak, a huge curse looms above, its presence menacing. Oh yeah, the thing that we're here to take care of. Your divine dog growls fiercely at it. The curse emits a mocking sound, almost like laughter. Beside you, Gojo slowly removes his glasses, his expression turning wild. You feel a surge of his energy. The air around him crackles with intensity. Satoru, calm down. Don't blow the place up yet.
That thing dared to touch you.
It's just a small cut. But Gojo isn't listening. His response is ferocious, his usual playful demeanor replaced by raw and bridled fury. He unleashes his power with alarming intensity, decimating every curse in sight, and inadvertently causing massive destruction around the school. As the dust settles, you placed a hand on his shoulder. He turns to you, pulling you into a tight hug.
I said I wouldn't let anything happen to you while I'm around.
It's okay.
No, it's not. I can't lose you. Not you too.
Oh. As you embrace him more firmly, you sense another subtle but profound shift between you. You're reluctant to define what's unfolding, wary of the complexities it suggests. Suddenly, your phone interrupts the moment, its persistent ringing impossible to ignore. Glancing at the screen, you see a list of missed calls that make your heart sink. You exchange a look with Gojo, and a mutual sense of dread washes over you both. The first hears, "Uh-oh." Gojo leans against the wall, his gaze fixed on the desolate training grounds. Shoko had just ushered him out of the morgue. "Go clear your head," she had urged, but clearing his mind is the last thing Gojo can do right now. The haunting images of the first year's bodies, or what horrifically remained of them, are seared into his memory. Oh! By the time he and the teacher had arrived, it was already too late. A growing pressure builds in his ears, his palms slick with sweat. He's overwhelmed by exhaustion, not just physical, but a deep, marrow-deep weariness of this twisted world. He's sick of the higher-ups, decrepit figures who casually send children to their deaths. The rage and helplessness churn inside him. He could obliterate them all, yet nothing would fundamentally change. His immense power mocks him, underscoring his inability to save everyone, no matter how much he improves. Aww, I just imagine he keeps thinking of Geto and all this. The teacher's words echo in his head, reminding him that their strength alone isn't enough. Power isn't enough. He needs allies, more people who share their vision for change. But how can he find them? You find Gojo at your usual spot on the training grounds. Satoru. He looks up, his eyes hollow, exhausted. You hand him a can of the sweetest soft drink you could find. He accepts it, his gaze drifting back to the horizon. He downs it in one go and crushes the can. Leaning against your shoulder, his white hair brushes your cheek.
I'm tired, teacher.
You glance around the training grounds to ensure privacy before leaning your head against his. I know. A cold breeze stirs as silence falls between you. You huddle closer.
Your students at your clan, what are they like?
You're taken aback by his question. Perhaps he's looking for a light conversation to take his mind off of the tragedy. They're good, hardworking.
Do they think like the people here?
Absolutely not. As head of the clan, I teach them respect for life and others. I refuse to let our clan resemble the Zenin. Gojo straightens, an idea sparking in his eyes.
That's it.
You look at him, puzzled. Did you miss something?
Fighting isn't enough.
He rises, pacing with energy, his mind clearly racing with thoughts.
It's not just about passing on techniques, right? It's about instilling values, perspectives, changing the world from the inside out.
Realization dawns on you, as if you're witnessing a pivotal moment in his life.
I need to nurture the next generation, like you're doing.
He stops, his posture resolute and determined.
That's it. I've decided. I'm going to be a teacher.
Aww.
I'm going to change the jujitsu world from the inside.
You gape at him, taken aback. You sensed where this conversation was heading, but hearing him articulate it has a profound impact. He isn't merely musing about some distant dream. It seems he's found the answer he was searching for. I mean, that's a good idea. And the craziest part, it could actually work. The results might be slow, but they are possible. As long as half of the cast doesn't get killed off later on.
So, what do you say, teacher? Will you help me become not just a fighter, but a teacher too?
The fact that he's asking for your help makes you feel a swell of emotion. You smile, feeling a deep connection to his newfound purpose. Of course, if that's what you want, we can change the training plan for the rest of the year. He hugs you, pulling you close, rubbing his cheek affectionately against yours. He leans back slightly, his face stopping near yours, his breath warm on your skin.
And what will you do when the year is over? Now that I have a plan, will you stay with me?
But, Gojo, listen, sweetheart, honey pie, angel, I got a clan to take care of. Somebody messed up and made me the leader. I can't. My clan needs me. He looks hurt, a flicker of pain crossing his usually confident features.
They've been doing well without you there all this time. I checked.
You're silent, your mind a tumult of emotions. Fear grips you. Fear of returning to the jujitsu world. Fear of death. Fear of complicated feelings. Yeah, we can't keep this going on forever, Gojo. Gojo stares at you, and it's as if his blue eyes can see past what you can't say.
You're running away.
Yeah, I guess I am. A resolute look appears in his gaze, determination hardening his expression.
I still have the rest of the year to convince you.
Satoru! He kisses you, hard, almost with desperation. The world blurs around you as his lips press against yours, demanding and insistent. You know you should remind him you're in public, but the intensity of his kiss makes it impossible to pull away. He kisses you down to the ground, his lips moving to your neck, then your collarbones. A sharp throat clearing breaks the spell. You and Gojo freeze, the reality of your surroundings crashing back in. Slowly, you both look up. Principal Yaga stands there, flanked by several higher-ups. His expression is a mix of disappointment and stern authority. Okay, they have a catapult with them to catapult me out of the school. Well, fluff. You're fired. The words hang heavy in the air, sealing your fate. You return to your clan, retreating into the safety of isolation, hiding yourself from the world once again. Need I remind you bozos that you came to me? I told you my methods were unorthodox. Gojo tries to visit, to convince you, but you dodge his advances, each encounter more painful than the last. You don't know how long he'll keep trying, or how long you can resist. The end. Oh. Nani? Nan desu ka? A tape comes out of the TV. You grab it. You have a feeling you should give it to someone. Nani? Nani? Where? Where did I put the denial dust? Hey, you're back. Come, let's have a talk. What is this? The little dog wags its tail and barks at you as if in greeting. Woof woof. Where? There's a bunch of tapes there. Also, the opening of this was like on a TV screen. Hi. You return the VHS to her, and she smiles at you. Thanks. How was it? I hope you enjoyed the tape. What are these tapes? They allow us to connect to AUs, aka alternate universes. Oh, that's a neat way to do that. I like that. That's snazzy. I like that. They're made with ingredients we gather on our travels, like slow burn embers and cliché caramel. Ooh. Which ingredients are you using for the next tape? I don't know yet. The crew members are currently in a meeting room, deliberating. It'll take a few days to reach a conclusion. The travel logs will be updated once a decision is made. That's all for now. Sure thing, darling. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Oh wait, Kyoei. That's the name of the developer. Cool. That's neat. I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you for being on this journey with us. No problem. It was excellent. Ooh. As you enter the temple, you're enveloped by the scent of incense, which wraps around you like a warm embrace. The air hums with an electric energy, and every corner seems to pulsate with the promise of passion, drawing you deeper into its embrace. Okay. Should I be in here? Above you, the statues loom, their expressions frozen in a timeless display of mirth and serenity. Despite the stillness of stone, there's a vibrancy to their features, as if they could wake up at any moment and grant you with lascivious knowledge. I wish for you to impart your lascivious knowledge. Or endless pleasure. Oh, should I be in this room? The smut gods already blessed this tape. Come back next time. Next time? Oh, 'cause I got the paid version, and this is called the full blessing. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Alright, I don't know if it'll make any difference, but what if I say yes? Sure, Gojo, let's do it. Yes, I'll stay. It's ironic how you just told that Zenin you would keep hiding away, and now here you are, declaring the exact opposite. What, he doesn't need to know. You know you'll have to change things in your clan. They might become more vulnerable to attacks without your constant presence. Training them will be less frequent, and you'll have to face the rotten jujutsu world all over again. But for Gojo and his dream, his crazy dream, it's worth it. Really? Just for you. His eyes light up with a mixture of surprise and joy. I'll make sure you never regret it. He pulls you into a kiss, his lips meeting yours in a burst of happiness that radiates through both of you. You know you should remind him you're in public, but the warmth of his kiss and the intensity of the moment make it impossible to pull away. A sharp throat clearing breaks the spell. You and Gojo freeze. the reality of your surroundings crashing back in. Slowly, you both look up. Principal Yaga stands there, flanked by several higher-ups. His expression is a mix of disappointment and stern authority. Guys, wait. Guys, wait! It was worth it!
You're back at your clan, tending to the garden. Its tranquility envelops you, a stark contrast to the recent chaos. The gentle rustling of leaves and the soft hum of nature remind you of the serenity you'd almost forgotten existed here.
Is that why they made me the leader? 'Cause I'm so good at tending to the garden?
Your teaching days at Jujutsu High ended in a scandal,
Leading to your dismissal.
Whoops. The memory still stings, but unfortunately your clan has been understanding, sparing you from undue strife.
Yeah, the girls and the guys were like, it was for Gojo Satoru. Have you seen him?
At least they will have a lot to gossip about in the coming months, or even years. It's been a few days since you last saw Gojo. You both agreed to keep your distance while the uproar died down, but you can't keep wondering about the repercussions he might be facing with his family. Your thoughts frequently drift to what the future holds for the two of you, undefined as it is. An attendant interrupts your solitude.
You have a guest, Master.
From his giddy behavior, you can already guess who it is. Your pulse speeds up, but you maintain your composure, smoothing your hands over your clothes.
Show him in.
Aww.
A few moments later, Gojo steps into view, and your heart leaps.
Hey, dear teacher.
This is the first time you've been apart from him after seeing each other almost every day. The sight of him fills the void that had been growing inside you. His familiar smile and that mischievous glint in his eyes brings a rush of emotions. You missed him, more than you had allowed yourself to admit.
I thought we agreed to wait a while. Couldn't stay away, could you?
He gently grabs your hand, kissing your knuckles with a tenderness that makes your heart flutter.
It took too long to find you. Nothing will keep me away now.
Oh no, Yandere Gojo!
Heat rushes to your cheeks at his words. You move to kiss him, but he pulls back with an apologetic smile, piquing your curiosity.
And there's someone I want you to meet.
He turns around, his eyes locking onto a spot behind the house.
Come on, over here. She won't bite. She only bites me.
Hey!
You playfully whack him on the back of his head, a light-hearted gesture that brings a chuckle from him.
Oh, is that what's-his-face? Is that what's-his-face whose name I can't remember because I actually haven't watched a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen?
A boy tentatively steps out from the shadows, his black hair a tousled mess. Gojo drapes an arm around the boy's shoulders, pushing him gently forward with a proud grin.
Teacher, meet Megumi.
Aww.
Your eyes widen as you take in the unexpected guest.
You have a son? No, wait, that makes no sense.
I don't remember being pregnant.
He's my adopted son, sort of.
Megumi scowls at Gojo's casual introduction, clearly displeased. Gojo leans closer and whispers with a conspiratorial wink.
He doesn't like it when I call him that.
He clears his throat, returning to his usual confident demeanor.
And he's got the exact same curse technique as yours. Show her your dogs, Megumi.
Intrigue lifts your eyebrows. The same technique? The boy shyly rubs his arms, his cheeks tinted with a blush.
I don't think that's necessary.
Gojo's gaze shifts between you and Megumi, his eyes pleading. You kneel down, offering a warm, inviting smile to the young boy.
Hi, Megumi. Would you like to see my divine dog?
He hesitates, then his curiosity peaks.
Yeah, I've only got one, but he's pretty awesome.
You form a hand sign and summon your Shikigami. Megumi's eyes widen in awe as your divine dog approaches, sniffing him before affectionately licking his cheek.
Aww.
Inspired, Megumi mimics your gesture with his small hands and calls forth his own Shikigami. Two smaller dogs materialize from his shadow, dwarfed by your larger white companion.
So are his dogs like puppies when he's still little?
The dogs tentatively sniff each other, then bursts into playful frolics around the garden, their tails wagging vigorously. Rising to your feet, you just can't help but smile at the joyful scene. Megumi looks up at you, his stoic expression filled with a hint of wonder. Gojo, unable to contain his pride, drapes an arm around both you and Megumi's shoulders, his face lit up with a broad grin.
Ah, what a sweet family meeting. I knew you two would hit it off.
Family?
A flicker of uncertainty crosses Gojo's eyes, but he laughs, trying to brush it off.
It was just a joke.
You kiss his cheek, feeling the warmth of his skin against your lips.
I don't mind if it isn't.
Gojo stares at you, his eyes briefly flickering with an unreadable emotion before he grins.
Let's create a better Jujutsu world together, shall we?
Gojo ruffles Megumi's hair, eliciting a groan from the boy, then gives you a quick peck on the lips.
Oh, we're like one big happy family. We even got some dogs.
Hopefully nothing horrible happens in the future.
The ambition seems vast, perhaps too vast, but you're ready to embrace it with him, and now Megumi at your side. It feels right to chase such a dream, however impossible it may seem. You lean closer into Gojo's side, feeling the strength and warmth of his presence.
Yeah, let's do it.
Aw, I kinda wish the show went this way then. That's so sweet.
Well, that was Teacher's Pet, a Jujutsu Kaisen fan game. Now, I admit I've only seen a handful of Jujutsu Kaisen episodes and I've been completely spoiled by TikTok. And in all honesty, Gojo wasn't really, at the top of my list at the time. I mean, he's meeting all my standards. Cocky, arrogant, white hair, great smile, striking eyes, really, really strong, kind of unhinged. But I think because of this game alone that I like Gojo a lot now. If you're watching this version that's still on my main channel, a lot had to be cut out because this game is meant for adults. But if you're watching this on my Patreon, then whew, that was spicy, was it not? Very nice. Very good. I like it very much. Well, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, or interact in any way that is comfortable for you. And since we're trying to make it to 100,000 subscribers, I would very appreciate it very much if you would subscribe. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.
Alright, time to see what the Toji one is about.